Today's guests are Stephanie, Head of Membership, and Fiona, Head of Operations and Marketing at COCF, CEO Collaborative Forum. And we're going to be discussing how we run COCF. So this is a little bit behind the curtain of how COCF works. I think it's going to be interesting for two aspects. One, so you get an understanding of what the team does, but also how you can then get best use of your professional network. I'm Tony Wood from CEO's Collaborative Forum, and let's hear the team reflect. Stephanie, a very warm welcome to you.
Hello, thank you for having me.
And Fiona, an incredibly warm welcome to you too.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So when we were talking about how could we create a behind the scenes podcast to discuss what we're doing, we had so many ideas about what we can talk about. But the key thing that I think that we wanted to get in understanding is what are the challenges of running a community? So maybe come to you, Stephanie. What are the challenges of running a community for high-level leaders?
There are challenges, there are opportunities. So the biggest challenge might be that they are leaders. They're used to lead and not to be led. They have very strong personalities with strong opinions. But they also have so much knowledge and expertise in their respective fields. They also have very, very busy schedules and are demanding, but on a priority list, COCF unfortunately comes after their companies and their daily business.
Shock horror. They shouldn't be. We should be top of the list.
We should, you're right. But the challenge here is to find the right balance, showing that we care, that we want to engage them, prepare them for their interactions with their peers, and at the same time being aware that they have run companies, as one of them pointed it out to me once. But on the other hand, there are so many learnings for me personally about their different domains and experiences, and also very, very interesting how does a mind of a high level leader work. When you see the interactions and the relationships that are created via this community, this is just great.
So that's interesting. So Stephanie said that our community, our leaders can be a little bit demanding. Fiona, have you experienced any of that? Because as a member of the community myself, I don't see myself as especially demanding. Have you seen any of that when you're running all of the summits that we have 3 times a year?
I think it's all part of the business because we are building these events for them. Our participants, our members are the key aspect of our events. Without them, we won't have any events. So we have to make sure that everything that is happening is good for them, that we are offering the best experience. And I think the most important thing for them is to get out of their day-to-day routine that they have, and they just come to our events and experience it from the start to the end without asking themselves, what do we need to do? They don't have to manage the events. They have just to attend and experience it to the fullest. So they can be demanding, but I think my job at what I love to do is to make sure that every coffee is good, that they have enough food and maybe enough wine during the dinners, of course, but just to make sure that they have the best experience to us.
That's really interesting. So you're crafting an entire experience from beginning to end. So right from when they turn up and they get a taxi from the airport or from the train station to the actual location where we are, all the way until we make sure that they always make their flight. So you literally have to keep all of that running around in your head for all of it. When we've got 300 members, but around about 50, 60 who are there at the moment and growing. How do you do all of that?
I think it's just a love of organizing and a love of doing checklists. It's I love to see myself. I think planning an event is like the image of an iceberg. The participants are going to be this top of the iceberg, and they're just going to see all this shiny iceberg in the sea. But what they don't see is the bottom. It's below the sea level. And they don't have to see it, because if they see the problems that we have in the organization, it means that we're not doing our job well. And also, my job is not doing like the Titanic did. I don't need to eat the iceberg. So it's a love of planning. I think that I was made to be a planner, an organizer, and it's what I love to do.
That sounds awesome. So one of the things, coming back to you, Stephanie, is so when our leaders are coming to our summits, when they're joining this community, obviously we're going to take care of them when they're physically there, and we've also got the 12 online events that we do every single month. What could they expect when joining the community? What should they be looking out for?
They should looking out for a peer community where they can share their challenges in absolute reality. I think this is priceless when you go into a room with people and know they will understand you. They might have done it before, they might have been there before, and you can learn from their experiences, but you can also contribute with your experiences to become aware that others are in similar situations or can be in similar situations than you are in, and also to step out of what Fiona said of your daily hamster wheel, where you're like in there, and reflect on other relevant topics that re-energizes your mind, also your body, thanks to Fiona, and in the end has a positive outcome on your leadership when you go back to your company. We have members who have been with us for years and done that 3 times a year, and I think they stay exactly for those reasons.
I mean, we sounds like we've got quite a lot of environment crafting to make sure that things are working well. What tips would you give people who are working with high profile leaders? What habits do you have to help work with them or to give them the value that they need?
For me, we as community head of community, I'm in a service position, so it requires a high level of professionalism and some skills. So for me, it is very important to get to know the members, to listen to them, so that I can anticipate their interests and their needs. And also personalized interaction is important so that they feel listened and taken care of, showing empathy. On the other hand, you have to be concise and quick in your communication because, as I said, they are very busy, they have tight schedules, and as leaders, they want to get to the point very quickly. So that's 2 points. And maybe another one is to recognize that in our case, we are a pan-European community. So people come from very diverse cultural backgrounds. And so you have to be sensitive to those different norms and values and behaviors, not judging, and really opening up the arms, opening your arms to every other or every different culture and norm. So basically, it demands commitment and dedication, but it is also highly rewarding.
So that's really interesting because you're talking about the pan-European and getting exposure to different cultures and different aspects of business leaders. When we come to pick the location, how do you pick the location, Fiona? How do you pick that when we've got so many leaders from so many different countries? How do we pick where's the right place? What's the thought process there?
I think it's, as Stephanie said, we have a lot of history, and the members are the key elements of these histories. And we tend to pick locations where we have a group of members that are from or working in this country, in this environment, so they can also welcome the event in their country. They can feel that they are taking even more bigger roles in planning these events. But I think we are living sadly in a world that is becoming a little bit more difficult to travel to, or to go around, and we are picking locations that are easy to get to, and also that are nice and beautiful. No, I'm joking. But it's just to that they
No, but
open a
that's
level of
important. No, you joke about it, but it's important because I think having an environment where, because as a leader and a CEO, you're generally under a lot of pressure constantly, and being able to kick back in a nice environment, and because this is your opportunity to learn your personal development, your skill development, and why not do it in a great location and then bring your partner with you so they can actually experience you in that kind of work learning environment. I think that's powerful.
yeah, it's get out of the hamster wheel. And I think sometimes when you open your curtains and you see a nice skyline and not just tall buildings around you, I think it can also get you out of this business mind that you can have, and it can be more. We're giving them oxygen. We
Yeah.
are giving them air and a place to breathe. And I think we have this word that we use, that the balcony time. It's like
Mm.
to be on the top of a balcony. I mean, on the balcony, and just yeah, take a breathe. And to go back to the location, it's just to offer them everything that they should have in an easy access and great place. It's I love spending time finding a location. It's rewarding after when the participants and the members are happy with it.
I mean, it for me, I haven't been a member for 13 years. The locations are definitely important, and for me, it's had a very special place in my heart, and has helped me through all manner of problems and business issues. So for me, it is a very special place, but it can also play a role in the community at large. Stephanie, what is that role?
The place,
Yeah.
I think I,
So what role can leadership and the leadership
oh,
community play in society at large?
I think when leaders are happy about what they're doing and satisfied with what they're doing, and they are all doing great jobs in so many different domains, be it fintech, health tech, industry, IT services, they are all like pioneers, and
Mhm.
also pioneers need something, sometimes a place where they are comfortable and they can lay back a bit and relax and re-energize. And that's where they get the drive maybe to move forward their companies, and by moving forward their companies, their innovations, they can drive positive change, not only in business areas, but also for our society as a whole. They do it via their innovations and providing work for others. Um, yeah, that's
Interesting.
their role.
And that's so we've been doing this for almost 20 years now. Why is and it's been very similar for almost all of those 20 years. Why is that kind of culture and that repetitiveness, that sense of place so important?
I think humans like rituals. We feel comfortable when we have certain rituals,
Mm.
and everyone has his their own. So we have also our COCF traditions. Fiona touched on the balcony time, which is like a time where you step up on the balcony and you look on your business and you're not in your business. So you take like an overview. We have icebreakers, they're always the same. So people feel, I hope it makes them feel belong to community, because for a community, what is important is this sense of belonging, where people feel good, as Fiona said. They feel cared of, taken care of, and comfortable with their peers to open up and then get to
Mm.
their real problems
Yeah.
and
Fiona,
get
for
them
you,
solved.
yeah. I mean, why is this cultural? Because we always have that, the Wednesday, we always meet on the Wednesday. We then always have the kind of get together, the kind of, the trust group, environment. Then we have the meal on the Wednesday night. We then we're then doing our challenges on Thursday, and on Thursday night we always have a great meal in a great location, and then we leave on the Friday. Why is that important to you, or how do you even keep that going? Because it just seems to work every single time. How do you do that?
I think it's history. I mean, we tried to change things sometimes during summits, and it was not working. And I think that we learned that after a big day of challenges, that it's important to also have time to recharge at the end. And of course, a nice meal, I think it's always more than welcome. And we have this right balance of CEO challenge sessions, trust group sessions, content, networking, that makes the summit work. And we tend to have even more networking now than before, because I think it's important that
Interesting.
we have this diversity. We have all these different types of people in the community that they don't get the opportunity to mix up anywhere. So I think it's important to have sessions of networking that work. And I think in this next summit that we're going to have in Belgium in 3 weeks now, I think it's going to be even more important, as we're going to have our next geners, our new group of young entrepreneurs. So I think it's finding the right balance between work and pleasure. And I think we have done it quite well.
No, I agree. I totally agree. And you touched on like next geners and the core community as well. So, what advice would you give, Stephanie, to anyone attending a professional community event for the first time? What would you do? What advice? What wisdom do you have?
I think the most important is to be very open-minded, to have only the expectation to be taken care of, to concentrate on your networking, on your business, but also on learning experiences. You can learn so much when you listen to others and when you open up to also their challenges. We made the experience that the feedback from people is that even when you're not presenting your challenge or you're talking about your issues, when you reflect about the ones from the others, you can also get a maximum out of it because it focuses your brain on something else and makes it reflect in a different way. And in the end, it also helps yourself reflecting on your own challenges. So I think everything they have in their head. There's nothing to prepare.
I love it. And Fiona, what advice would you give? What wisdom for someone attending for a first time?
I think it's being ready of learning a lot, of getting a lot of information. I think that our events also happen right before the weekend, because after the summit, you need the time to rest and to recharge your batteries after the summit, because we are doing a lot of things, and you're just gonna meet wonderful people that can become your battle buddies throughout your journey as an entrepreneur and a CEO inside COCF. So it's really to, yeah, trust us that we're going to take care of you and have an open mind, as Stephanie said.
No, I love that. I think the thing is that on the Saturday, like the Friday and Saturday, I love hanging out with people who become my friends now, which I really enjoy. But when I go back to work, it's interesting. You'd think I'd be tired, but I actually have this burst of energy because I've got these new ideas, I've got these new interactions. And I go, oh, there's that recommendation, and I heard that, and I can implement that, and so I'm literally sitting there like an Energizer bunny, an Energizer Panda, just going through, going, oh my goodness, I can do all of these things. So I actually, as a member, because you just take care of everything, but as a member, I'm actually able to then, I see it as a way for me to recharge. It's really interesting. I see it as a way that even though the days are long, because it's my personal development, I'm going to make sure I get the right recommendations, I get the right community connections, and they're so useful as well as just being people that I really love spending time with. But then I go back and I get that burst of energy to then take into my business. And it's one of those things where when leaders go back, and I know when I've been back, the team's going, why have you got this energy? Why are you kind of like, you've got these ideas, you've got this, you're innovating. It's because you've been around people who are like you. They're in your situation and they're able to empathize and also able to then help you. And then you come back and go, I'm not alone. I can do this. I've got all of these ideas and I've got an amazing community wrapped around me to help me. So I think you both do, and the rest of all of the team that helps us with the summits do an incredible job. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you to both of you. And any final words from you for our community? Stephanie.
Welcome. I can only open my arms and say welcome. I'm really happy to see all those who are coming to Belgium, and because for me personally, when I watch the members interacting and see that they get value out of it, that's when that makes me really happy, and that's when I'm content with my work, in fact.
Love it.
So I'm very much looking forward.
Thank you, Stephanie. Fiona?
I think the same. I think we are ready for you. We are ready for you to have the best experience. So come and join us.
Perfect. Thank you both. And thank you for listening.
Thank you,
Tony.